How's it going, everyone? Mega Mashers here, and in this video, we are going to be reviewing Unfezant. Now, Unfezant is, design-wise, a really awesome Pokemon, and it has a couple things going for it, but sadly, its move pool, especially on the physical side, is rather limiting. It doesn't even get Brave Bird, which really sucks. But, you know what? Either way, this Pokemon still has some uses in battle, and I'm going to go over that right after I go over its base information first. That being its typing first. So it's flying and normal, and with that, you are immune to Ghost and Ground. That's actually a pretty solid combination right there. And you also resist Bug and Grass. Now, you are weak to the likes of Electric, Ice, and Rock, but that's okay because you can always build around your teammates' weaknesses if you know how to build teams. So up next, we're going to go over the abilities. So the first one it gets, Big Pecs. It's not really that good of an ability. Like, all it does is it prevents your defense from being lowered. If it had something even like Hyper Cutter, that would be much more beneficial, which is an ability that allows for your attack to not be lowered. That means things like Intimidate or anything like that wouldn't be able to lower it, because it has a pretty respectable attack stat, which I'll get to in just a moment. The next ability gets known as Rivalry. Now, what Rivalry does is, this is extremely situational, okay? So say if you are battling an opponent of the same gender, the power of your moves will increase by 25%, whereas if you are battling an opponent of an opposite gender, that means that your moves are only going to do 75% of what they would normally do. But taking a look at its last ability, Super Luck, oh baby, that's where it's at! Holy shit, let's fucking get this going. So Super Luck. Super Luck is an ability that, right off the bat, increases your critical hit ratio of your moves. That's fucking ace. And considering that the critical hit ratio got bumped up this generation, oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is gonna be good. So let's take a look at the stats here real quick. So we have 80 on the HP, we have 115 on the attack. Last generation it was 105. They got a nice little bump here. Its defense is at 80, that's pretty cool. Its special attack is base 65. Special defense 55, oh man. And speed is 93. That's pretty respectable because to my knowledge I don't think there's any other Pokemon that holds a base 93 speed. So having your own speed tier is always a unique trait to have in battle. So let's go ahead and navigate our way to Pokemon Showdown, and allow me to show you a set that you can run Unfezant on pretty successfully. So we're going to actually go ahead and use an item that normally would be, I want to say gimmicky, but this right here actually works, because in tandem with Super Luck, your moves have a 50% chance of scoring a critical hit, and that can make a huge difference in battle. So, Scope Lens, it allows for the critical hit ratio to be increased by one stage, and in combination with Super Luck, it increases by another stage, 50%. That's pretty epic. So the first move we'll go with is going to be Tailwind, and what this does is for 4 turns, it boosts the speed of all of your Pokemon double, actually. So that's pretty awesome. You can get some pretty crucial outspeeds there. Up next, we'll go for Taunt, because why not? I mean, Taunt on Unfezant is pretty much needed. It's pretty much needed because of the fact that there are Pokemon that love to try and set up on you. Well, with Taunt, it's like you're forced to attack it. You can't set up on me. You gotta attack me, bitch. Up next, we're gonna go for U-Turn, because U-Turn it's crisp. It is fucking crisp. Not only does it allow for you to deal damage, be a scout, but you also can have switch initiative after U-Turn, because that allows for you to switch in more safely, depending on whether or not the opponent outspeeds you or not. And lastly, we'll go for Return, because it's a very powerful base 102 max normal type power, and factor in the fact with a 50% chance of getting a critical hit, that's pretty epic. And something else about critical hits, it hits through boosts. That means your opponent can boost its defense all day. and it's just yeah, it's not going to matter really. So let's just take a look at the EV spread here real quick. So we'll be running an Adamant Nature to allow you to have a little more oomph in your attack, and we'll maximize your attack and maximize your speed and put the rest into defense. It's a pretty standard set, and it's a standard set that works. So that's pretty much it for this set. Now, I can't believe I'm actually going to do this on the fly here, but I want to see if I can make Rivalry work. So just excuse me one moment, and I will be right back. Okay, guys, so I decided that I want to at least try and build a set around its rather unique ability known as Rivalry, because right off the bat, I am thinking of one move that this entire set can be centralized around, and that's Attract. So you can actually use the ability to your advantage like this. So the item for choice is going to be leftovers to allow you to have passive recovery at the end of each turn. We'll go with Rivalry, as I said. This is very situational, but when the situation occurs, it could work. It could work. So the first move we'll go for is Attract, and what Attract does is it causes as a very unique, I wouldn't say status, but a very unique condition where the opponent is infatuated, and they have, I can't remember what the percentage is, but they have quite a large percentage of them not being able to attack. So that can actually be pretty awesome. And this next move slot I have for you here, I decided to put 2 in 1. You can go with Work Up, and what Work Up does is it boosts the attack and special attack by 1 stage. But if you're looking to be protected from status moves, you can go with Substitute. Up next, we got Roost, because Roost, on a flying type Pokemon, why not, man? Roost heals 50% of your maximum HP. Next, we'll go with Return, because Return is really the only reliable move that there is. Now, I will say, this set does get walled out by ghosts, so if you're afraid of that, we can go with Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace, really awesome flying type move that doesn't miss. Yeah, it's base 60 power. The power's kind of lacking, but it won't lack after a few workup boosts, which is pretty awesome. So, with the EV spread here real quick, I decided to make it fully physically defensive because, I mean, base 80 HP and base 80 physical bulk, it's not the best, but considering that this thing has access to Roost, it's actually not that bad. So, taking a look at the stats here real quick, you see it has a pretty respectable number in HP and its physical defense. Its special attack is left a lot to be desired, but that's okay, you can't win at everything. The only situation that this thing has is the fact that it has a 4 move slot syndrome. Surprisingly enough, considering I said earlier this thing has a really crappy physical move pool. But hear me out. I just wish that I had 5 moves so that I could put both Workup and Substitute in there. Kind of make it like a pseudo Mega Pidgeot setup set almost. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And how you build your team around Unfezant should dictate what your second move is. If you have a cleric on your team, then you can go with Workup because you don't have to worry so much about statuses. But if you don't have a cleric on your team, which is highly recommended that you do, then Substitute would be your best friend. That way you're protected from substitutes, but you don't have any way of setting up. So this really here has a couple of disadvantages no matter how you run it, but who knows, it could work. I just thought that I would share this set idea with you, even though it's on the fly, and I'm trying to expose something that's gimmicky that could actually work. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video on how to use Unfezant, and I shall see you guys next upload.